Okay, show 7:01, so with Mrs. Morris being out today, I guess I'll step in and guide this along for the call to order. 7:01. Established quorum, looks like we've got enough. Minus Mrs. Morris.
She did just text me, I just landed, y'all have to go alone.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Mike, did you hear that? Maybe she couldn't.
You can call it a night, Mike.
You better tell
All
her.
right. All right, next section, we've got the invocation and pledge. Would there be any volunteers to say the invocation tonight? Okay. We'll do that. All right, dear Lord, we thank you for this day of blessings, this opportunity we have to gather together tonight and to discuss Indiana ISD. I pray that you would guide us and lead us, our thoughts, actions. Pray for your divine wisdom to work through us. We ask that there be no ulterior motives, agendas, anything, Lord, that is not in line with your will and in the best interest of everyone involved in the district. We pray that you would direct our paths, Lord. We pray for a special blessing to everyone in the community. I pray that you would God, just reach them where they are this evening in the troubles, health, mental, physical, emotional strength needed. I pray that you provide that. We know that you're able, and by faith we believe for that strength, Lord. Pray for a special blessing, for a good rest for our teachers, our staff, the students to get rested up this summer. Pray that the summers are going well and continue to do so, and for it to be a great, refreshing time and preparation for a great fall semester. Guide us tonight, we pray, Lord. In your name, amen. All right, pledge. No special. Yeah. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. This is number 4, citizen participation. Anything to that? Okay. No citizen participation on the agenda. That brings us to the consent agenda, 5.1, and that's to approve the minutes of a previous meeting. Everyone had a chance to look through that. I think I'm supposed to ask if there's any questions regarding. Okay. Take a motion here for it. Dr. Merble? Take a motion.
At the end.
At the end, okay. All right,
For the all three.
that's right. Okay, and 5.2, revenue to budget.
We're right on target. Revenues has come in and our spending is right where it should be.
Almost an exact match.
Yep.
74, 76. Anything jump out to anyone on the budget?
Did I miss the motion and the second for the consent agenda?
No.
No, we're not through here. We're not
Oh, you
finished.
already finished, okay, I'm good.
You did.
Okay, thank you.
It's recorded, but.
The tax collections, we've collected $31,669.89 since the last board meeting. And another one came in today, but I didn't include it because I'd already typed it up.
Okay. Questions, comments on the consent agenda? We're ready to receive a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. Terrell first. Okay. All right. that moves us to section 6. Oh, all in favor? I sleep since the previous ones, I forget everything.
Oh, you're on the spot.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. All right, discussion, section 6.
Well, Dr. Ms. Morris gave the principals the summer off, so they're not here to make the reports. But, Jacob's here to talk about athletic plans.
Awesome. Coach Marwich, you have the floor.
All right, here's this, just kind of an overview of what we'll talk about. I'll hit on some things early on. I haven't been in a while. Spring and winter are busy with coaching junior high or going to track meets or all the things. But just a little bit year in review. All of our athletic teams, the high school level advanced postseason play. So we were really pleased with that. Our realignment change, this is a realignment year moving forward. We added some teams in volleyball and lost a couple in basketball, but added some, so it'll be a bigger district in volleyball and basketball, which will be very competitive, but we look forward to that. Football, we lost a few and then we added a few with that, so but again, look forward to a competitive football district, and we're excited with that moving forward. Just a couple things that, I don't take enough time to put on Facebook and social media and do all that stuff with our kids, but just some things that our kids have done a really good job of as far as representing us and our school and our community and our athletic programs. We've been really pleased with that when we go to track meets, or we go to powerlifting meets, or baseball, softball, and we have other teams and other parents from towns complimenting our kids and how they act when they go up to the concession stand and they go into restaurants and walk out, how well behaved they are and how respectful they are. We've had several chain games this year during football season compliment our kids, go find people and compliment how our kids were on the sidelines, how they interacted. Concession workers, like I said, at track meets. So that's something that we're really proud of with our kids. And, in the hallways, we talk to them about how you do anything, how you do everything. And we're really proud of that. And those young men and women kind of taking ownership and policing everything, so to speak. So we're happy with that. We've got some community service opportunities coming up this summer. We've been talked to a couple parents, and we've got people ready to go over to the Senior Citizen Center and do some help with their garden. They've got a garden, and so we're going to break the kids up into groups and do some help just keeping up with their garden and things like that. Summer camps have been good. We've got people in the area. I think we're the only school, us in Stephenville, within about 50 miles of here, that have camps for every sport, and we've had good participation of those. We have 2 more opportunities up. We had to move our basketball camp. We didn't have to, but we did. We wanted to give opportunities for all of our basketball coaches, our new hires, to be there. So we rescheduled those for June 26th and 27th for our basketball camp. So we look forward to that. Get to meet and see some new faces, and then our incoming 7 through 9 football camp will be at the end of July. At that, they kind of go through practices and they get all their equipment, so we don't have to mess with that. The first day of school, and all those junior high kids and those incoming freshmen are ready to go for the first day of practice. Just want to talk about some new hires. We recently hired Glenn Hartson as our head boys basketball coach, or in the process of doing that. We're really excited about him. He has 20 years of head basketball experience, most recently at Midlothian ISD. Once he retired from there, he served on the school board for 3 years and has some experience with that. Then once he got off the school board there, Arlington Baptist called him, and so he coached there for 4 years. And they were a pretty bad program, and he took them and played the national championship with that division. So we're excited about Coach Hartson being here. He's going to help us in basketball and football. Rayleigh Shirley, she's going to be our head softball coach. She's already been here and been working, and she's enjoyed it and heard good things about her with the kids. She former college softball player, and just recently was on staff at Toller, and they played for a regional championship. Ross Nichols, he's gonna be an assistant boys coach and help with girls track. He could be our head girls track coach. We're still trying to work some things with that, but a lot of this is gonna be to be decided, because we still got some other hires that we're looking at making. We've got some interviews this week, so trying to add more coaches, but Ross is a great young coach. He has been a head basketball coach, been a head track coach, and had a lot of different roles in football, so we're looking forward to Ross helping us out. Macy McGahey, assistant girls coach, she's a first-year coach, and she's excited. She's grew up in the area, she's from Eastland, and great young woman, and she's a multi-sport athlete, which is something that we're trying to get to encourage our girls and boys to do as many things as possible. And so she's got experience in that. She's excited. She's been up here volunteering, helping with the summer workouts, and so we've been pleased with that. Like I said, we're bringing in more candidates this week to interview for some other positions, and hopefully those end up working out. They do it. They don't. They don't. But anyway, we're excited about that. Our summer participation has been great. Our first week, we separate high school boys and junior high boys just because there's such a big discrepancy with the things that they can do. Right now, we've had 4 coaches up there consistently, but first week we had anywhere between 45 and 55 high school boys up there working out, and then we've had anywhere from 20 to 30 junior high kids. Last week it took a little bit of a dip with the camps and the community rehab and people going on vacation, which we encourage. We want them to go, but if you're in town and you're sleeping in, we don't encourage that. But we get up there, get them out from 7 to 8:30, so they gotta go to work, they go to work, and it's been good this week. Today we had another good day. Our girls have had between 30 and 40 girls, and they've had girls, junior high and high school together, and I've had really good report from them. The coaches have enjoyed it, the kids have seemed to have enjoyed it, so we're excited about that. It's been a good start to the summer, and it's flying by, so it's just started, but it's flying by, so we've got to make the most of every opportunity that we have, and that's something that, looking at as far as making the conditioning stuff a priority, we've been fortunate, knock on wood, our injuries have been down the last few years, and I think that conditioned athletes stay healthy, and healthy athletes are able to stay on the field or court or whatever it might be. So kids have done a great job of buying into that, and we look forward to that moving forward. Going to your packet, your handout here, just an overview, and this is something that I've handed out to our voice staff over the years, and this is something that we follow, and it's something that, it's not what you do one day, it's consistency. It's a little bit of day after day on what you can do, and just kind of an overview. I'll read through it. I believe in establishing a foundation based on passion and accountability in order to develop a successful program. Our staff will be expected to conduct ourselves with energy and passion and strive for the best that we can be each and every day. If we're going to ask the kids to do something, we need to demonstrate that, and we need to do it. I believe it is important to maintain a high level of accountability within the student athletes and staff in order to support one another, our team, our school, and our community. Through my observations, the Lady Cat Bearcat program experience and leading athletes in DeLeon, I've noticed opportunities that I would like to address and build on. These opportunities include buy-in, lack of accountability, and low standards. And this is something that everybody struggles with, and we're just trying to, like I said, develop that consistency. And below are items that I plan on concentrating on to improve our Lady Cat program and continue to build on the Bearcat side. First thing is change the culture. And culture is a word that gets thrown around so much, but I think it's not necessarily what you don't do. I think it's what you allow. I think that's what your culture is. And but the thing with that is creating an environment of accountability and expectations through passion, hard work, and discipline. You keep the bar high. If you keep the bar high, you'll keep your winners, and those that aren't quite there will raise their level too. If you lower the bar, you're going to lose your winners, and then it's just going to be a free-for-all. But I encourage involvement with local sports with DSA by having meetings with coaches. That's something that I do. I'm involved with DSA, and I think it creates that bridge between your youth, but also the parents, and just helps create a relationship where there's some communication, where people feel comfortable talking about things, and at the end of the day, it's about helping everybody reach their potential. And, I think if you have that open line of communication, that relationship, I think that helps tremendously, but just coaches, our high school coaches, our middle school coaches, being involved with the community, being involved with DSA, going to things, having hitting sessions, training sessions, that's something that my wife and I do during basketball season on Sunday. We go to the gym from 1 to 3 or 2 to 4 for anybody, kindergarten through 5th grade, that wants to come up there, and we focus on fundamentals, because a big part of this with, when my wife's coached little kid basketball and I coach softball, and you only get them for 2 hours a week, those fundamentals, you have to pick your battles, and, that's something that I think is important, and we talk to our coaches about. Support of coaches, will continue if available to attend all Lady Cat, Bearcat events that occur to monitor and mentor coaches and support in any way possible. This will be done through one-on-one staff meetings to address positive and negative happenings with our sports. I think it's something that, especially with young coaches, and I need to do a better job of, when you meet with a coach, they don't need to take it as, well, this might be a negative or I'm in trouble. I think you need to create that expectation to where when you have a meeting, it's for development, it's for growth. And I think just having those more often will help create some comfort and also some lines of communication as far as what they need to do to be better, and what we need to do to be better. What can I do to help you be better? Bear with me. Okay, accountability. This is developed through daily workouts and expectations from coaches to players. Coaches' attendance and player attendance is critical to developing commitment and team cohesion. If a coach is not there, it's going to be hard for a kid to perform. I think coaches need to be there, and I know it's a lot, and we sign up for it. There's obviously some opportunities where we need to get away and have a break, but I think somebody said this a long time ago, and it's something, I think, how you spell love, some people it's T-I-M-E. It just requires time. And it's something that you've got to do to build a relationship. And if you're not there, it's hard to build those relationships. All coaches, if available, need to be involved with junior high athletic periods and games. It is imperative to set the standard of fundamentals, attitude, effort, terminology, and expectations at an early age. You've got to see successes, small successes, celebrate those successes, and success breeds success. And that's where confidence comes from. And I believe that it is very, very important to be with your junior high kids as much as possible. I think that's where it all starts, and so we're going to work better towards that. Transparency. I think I've got it at 4, but I think this is probably the most important. Each team will have a preseason meeting, and this is something that I haven't done a good job with. Once you get into seasons and you get sports overlapping with other sports, and you have some kids that start a sport sooner than others, it just runs into everything, but that will be something that we do moving forward. The head coach of that sport will obviously run the meeting. I will be there as well to just help facilitate it. This will include myself, the head coach of the sport. Opening lines of communication prior to the season creates an opportunity for the players, for the players' parents to meet the coach and learn appropriate avenues and times to contact the coach. If there's something that we don't know about, we can't fix it. If I don't know if there's a problem, I can't fix it. And we'll sit down, we'll talk, you can call me. That's something that I want the coaches of other sports to understand too, that just like we talked about sitting down with a coach, just because you get a phone call or there's somebody wants to talk about something, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Doesn't have to be bad. It can be, needs to be constructive, it also needs to be professional. There's a time and place for that. Not right after a game when everybody's running hot anyway. It needs to be appropriate, and I think that just creates a level of trust that everybody wins with that. And at the end of the day, we may not agree on it, but it's what's best for the kids and it's what's best for our programs. And just some points of emphasis with DSA. This is something that our youth football, we actually have they weren't fan. I'm not a huge fan of it, but our 5th and 6th grade are going to tackle this year because all the surrounding towns wanted to go to it. But I've already got meetings set up with them as far as things that they need to do and work on, and some terminology and stuff, just how we do it moving forward. And I think that would be great for all coaches, head coaches of the sport, to be involved with that. I think that's the cool thing about living in a town like a small town, is you have opportunities to create those relationships, and you get to know kids from this big all the way out. And I think that's unique, and I think there's something to be said for that as far as, being successful. But anyway, these are things that we talk about. It doesn't have to mean hitting a ball, it doesn't have to mean shooting the ball, catching the ball, attendance at practice. And I know, like I said, I was the coach of the team, I have a 7-year-old, there were days she didn't want to go to practice. But we need to make it a point, hey, when you're in 5th and 6th grade, you don't want to practice, you need to go to practice. Eye contact when adults are talking, I don't like it when people are fidgeting with stuff, messing around. Eye contact, attitude and effort, yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and be coachable. Try to do your best when you're being asked to do something. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but just try to do it. And those are things too, that we talk about all the time with our kids are, you do those things are things that you're gonna have to, that'll carry you for the rest of your life. If you're trying to apply for a job or you're in a workplace, if you can do these 5 things from this big until you're 25, 30 years old, you're gonna be successful. And, so those things that we preach, and, we spoke with DSA about that, and I go to meetings and we're involved with it. So, that's just something we need to continue. And on the back, there's coaching responsibilities. This is subject to change. Like I said, we've got more people that we're bringing in. This is just kind of an overview of that. See there on volleyball, Coach Swan is gonna kind of be the coordinator through that. Fall is a very busy time for me, and just helping with some day-to-day stuff as far as gyms on home games, being able to go to an away volleyball game. If we get off the practice field at 5:30, 6 o'clock, I wouldn't be able to be there during the week on Tuesday. But just helping out with that, being a point man, as far as communication, if there's something that needs to be done, let me know, and we'll work together to figure it out. So that's where we're at on that. We're excited about it, and just hopefully we can get these last few things taken care of before July, and we'll be ready to go.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Coach, one question I had, on the business world, we have KPIs, key performance indicators. What do y'all have for the accountability piece, like marks, your milestones you're looking for the athletes to progress? Do y'all have any kind of tracking for that?
So we do maxes, and a lot of them just kind of depends on where you're at from I know the boys from a testosterone level, as far as how fast and how big a gains you make. Some of them mature faster than others. Some of them, when they mature at a younger age, they have bigger jumps. Some that are not as mature, they don't progress as much, but then later on, a few years later, when those other kids have matured sooner, they're not making as big a gains as other kids that may mature at a later age. But no, we just keep up it with maxes. So yes sir, yes, for strength and speed and vertical explosiveness and yes sir.
Okay. What do you do for like team building within your coaching staff? You got several new folks coming in. Do you have any ideas for how to kind of get that group on the same page mentally and cast?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have preseason meetings or summer meetings, which we get everybody here. Middle of July, we'll start. I think this year it's going to be July 15th, maybe 16th is when we'll have our first coaches meeting with everybody together. So we'll have all of our male and female coaches in the same room, and we'll go over expectations as far as social media use and all that. And then one thing that I like to do is have everybody out of my house and have cookouts and just, do that, create that family atmosphere. That's one thing that we do during football season. Every Wednesday, I have all the boys, my wife and I have all the boys out to our house, and different families will pitch in and get the food for that week. But that's something, just going out, getting away in a different environment, and I like to make it at my house because I think that's just good.
Sure.
But anyway, we'll go play golf, we'll go to the lake, try to do those things, and just get people together in an informal setting away from work, and talk about it, but not be the focus, but in conversation do that. So that's something that I'm hoping we can do more of this year. And I know everybody gets busy with different seasons and stuff, but the goal is, Bess and I were talking about it, is at least one a month. Have everybody out to our house and cook for them and let the kids play and do that, so.
It's neat. Will that be, just the boys, or is it planned for the girls too?
Yes, sir, for all of them. I mean,
Oh,
any coach on staff, bring your kids and bring your, +1, whatever it may be, and come out and we'll play cornhole and do that. One thing that we've done at other places, and we just, like I said, it's just finding that time and getting a consistent time throughout the year is coaches outreach. So it's a faith-based devotional. So they'll send us all books, and it'll have week 1, and it's got a Bible study, and then it's got questions with it. And that's something that I would like to implement, find a day to where we can all get together and do that. And that would be boys coaches, girl coaches. We get breakfast, and we've had places where we've had a community member that's stepped up and kind of led it and did a breakfast and made it a big deal. So
Yeah,
do something like that.
Obviously, you're clearly very busy. We see you all over the place, you and your wife and your girls and everything. And you're talking in here about like supporting all the staff so that whenever you're like, hey, I wanna meet with you, they're not like, oh my God, I'm in trouble. So do
Yeah.
you like meet with them on a routine basis?
That's what I would like to do. So what I'm gonna do with during football, just because we're all together and all our boys coaches, is try to do bi-weekly meetings. And again, and it's something that I need to do to start to where it's not a, hey, you're in trouble or I got you type deal, because, I mean, there's things that I tell them all the time. I don't have all the answers, and I would like feedback, as far as, hey, what can I do to help you? Yeah, to help you. If there's something that you don't like, tell me about it. And I think by doing that more frequently, it'll allow them to say, hey, this kind of makes,
This is an area.
this is an area where it kind of makes me nervous, or, whatever it might be, where I need help with this, I'm not real comfortable doing this, can you help me do that? And that's something that I'd like to try to do bi-weekly. And, like I said, we're trying to fill out some pieces as far as finalizing some hires, if we can get to where, I don't have to coach junior high basketball or, and with other things, I can be at most places, because boys track is with girls track, we're all in the same spot. Baseball, softball, we kind of got split this year with our districts, and I don't understand why we get sent one way with baseball and another way with softball. But that makes it difficult, but then the junior high basketball is the one where I can't see the girls, so we're trying to work some things out to where I don't have to do that, and I can be at junior high girls home games, and then when the boys are here, be at boys games, so do that.
there's some really good stuff in the plan, your plans to do, what you're already doing. I really like the involvement of the community too. That's a big part of it. I'm glad to see that you'll.
It is, and like I said, there's no set way of doing things. There might be something that I don't see. I mean, we're involved with 100+ kids every day, and try to tell the coaches, hey, if something happens and we get upset, whatever, we need to make it right before we leave. And if for some reason that doesn't happen, if there's something going on, I would like to know. And if I know about it, we can address it, we can fix it, and move forward with it. But I'm open to, like I said, we don't have all the answers, and I think the more people that are involved, the more people that can see something, I think the better off we are. 'Cause that's what it's about. It's about putting the best product out there, and helping the most people that we can. And there's a different lens to view it from, then I'm open to it.
Yeah, that transparency piece about establishing expectations of the season and hopefully off seasons too. It lets them know what to expect on both sides.
Yes,
Challenging.
One thing that I would like that we'll do this year is we'll have an all athlete parent meeting prior to the season, and with that we'll address in-season workouts, off-season workouts, what it looks like if you're in season, what it looks like if you're out of season. We'd like to keep it consistent as far as you're in season, we do hit these things. Off-season, you hit these things and these things, because I do believe, you know, there's the meat and potatoes as far as what you do and what you need to accomplish. And as long as you're hitting those things twice a week and the other stuff you're using is supplemental, then I think you're good as far as keeping your body to where, one, you're ready to play at a high level, but also you're keeping your body to avoid injury. I mean, I think that's something that if you want to be the best athlete you can be, you need to be conditioned. And not just from a standpoint of being able to run and jump and all that stuff, but from a health and injury prevention standpoint. There's things that we do that we call them prehab drills, where you walk in and you may sit there and say, well, they're not lifting anything. Well, no, we're working different joints and movements, mobility stuff to try to avoid injury. So prehab.
Very important.
I will say that the number of injuries is greatly decreased since the conditioning program. And the number of insurance claims that we had filed, and I think if you've attended any of the games, you know, girls, boys, whatever, you just saw fewer young people get hurt, minor or sometimes pretty major things.
And you know, that's something too that what we do, you know, our setup is a little bit different in the field house, but we still have in the weight room and the indoor everything that we need. And so that's something that the coaches have done a really good job of this summer, and have to just continue to work on it moving forward, is utilizing that and get the things that we need to get done, the priorities done within the time frame that we have. So I think they've done a good job of that, and we'll continue to work on that moving forward. And you know,
on the Lady Cat side of the program, and I'm sure you have a benchmark. This, you know, it's kind of been a topic of conversation, the Lady Cat program. I don't really know how to ask it without being sound stupid, but how will you know when you get to your benchmark that you've set for the year?
as far as
Where they are and where you want them to be.
well, and here's the thing, like I talked about earlier, the small successes, and success breeds success, and that's something that I think you keep track of, and to me, the weight room and running, as far as, that's the easiest thing to judge, because it's a number.
And I know it's not gonna be an overnight
No,
thing.
yes, sir,
We're
yeah.
not gonna go from where we're at to where you want to be
Yes.
overnight. I understand that.
Yes, sir.
I was just, when you get to a certain point, are you gonna know that you're in the right direction or not the right direction?
Yes, sir.
Try to do something.
I think it's something that again, you have a starting point, and like I said, we just go back to those numbers, and that's something that, you know, I'll be real honest with you, that first year, I mean, when I was here, we didn't win a football game, and our JV won one football game. So you go through 20 games, and I'll say this, it had been a while since we had finished a JV season, and we made it. We finished the JV season, and we were 1-19 with high school teams, and you talk about just.
Well, and that's
You
what
know,
I'm saying. Wins are not.
I'm
No, but I'm
not.
saying where you're at, wins are not what you're looking for to get started.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no. It's like I said, it's a buy-in thing. And I think that starts with that number. I think you put that number there, and everybody has a starting point. And so, like I said, the easiest thing that you can do as far as showing growth is what you've got tangible, evident, which is a number. I mean, that's the easiest thing. Okay, you go in the weight room and you do this. Here's your number. You go out and you run a mile. Here's your number. Every time you do something, you're thinking about that number. I tell the kids when we do cone drills, if you've done this pro agility 999 times, that 1,000 you should be thinking this is going to be my best no matter what. And I think you do that. Like I said, you have a number, you talk about that number, you make it important, and any little gain you count as a success. And then those little successes add up to other successes, and that just breeds confidence. And then with confidence, you know, that buy-in, when they see those numbers improving, that makes me want more of it. And, I think that's something that you've gotta look at and start with. And like I said, they've done a good job, this summer. It's been good. We've been pleased. And, so just a little bit at a time. But yeah, putting that number there is, it's important. I think that's the most tangible thing you can do.
I had one last question. You have an extremely important role as a leader, and you've got a coach, you got to do a bunch of things as the AD. And then I just wondered what's your thought of how the dynamic should be between you and like the high school principal as a leader in the school? How y'all work together to be a team lead throughout the student body?
Yes, sir. No, I think that's important as far as keeping it professional and making sure that you're doing everything you need to give those kids every opportunity to be successful, not just an athletic side of it, but the academic side of it as well. And I think, one thing that I do, I need to do a better job of, and I've kind of gotten away from it, is be more visible on campuses. And that's one thing that we worked really hard on initially. And said those kids started, and our athletes really started to take pride in taking ownership of the classrooms and the hallways and really policing themselves. But we always need to work to be better at it. And I think just making sure that those kids have everything they need to do to be successful from an athletic standpoint and academic standpoint.
Jacob, one question. I know you said you're gonna do a bi-weekly meeting with the football staff.
Yes, sir.
What do you, I guess, going back to the girls program, how are you gonna lead the girls staff? Is it gonna be a bi-weekly
Well,
meeting?
so-
Because I know you're dealing with football program, you're seeing them every day. It's easy to get them together.
Yes,
because
sir.
You're
That-
there.
So with that, that's easier to do. Like I said, we're all in the field house every day.
And I know the
and-
girls program
Yes,
is gonna
that,
be difficult to
we,
get them all.
that's something that we usually get there at 6:30, 6:45, and we're there in the evening. So that's something that it's a little easier for me to schedule. I say set up and do a weekly, and that's something that I'd like to do is weekly, and then the girls will be bi-weekly, as far as meeting with them. Because some of our guy coaches have, their time's already limited. I mean, they've expressed that schedules came out and they may not have a conference. So now, now you're looking at, okay, we take all this time and,
Yes.
just finding a way, because they've got obligations they need to, in the classroom too, that they have, and expectations they have to meet. So, just finding time, hey, can you meet and it doesn't have to be anything big, like a 30-minute deal. It just needs to be 5 minutes. Hey, I was at the game the other day. I saw you do this. I thought this was an awesome job. One thing that we need to do, we need to make sure that the hallways are clean. Just something like that, but a positive, a negative, and,
No, I didn't know if you were planning to try to get them all together, one group, just do it individually.
yeah,
And I know everybody's got time constraints.
yes. Well, and just during football season specifically, we, every day, usually in the evenings after practice, we'll have a meeting, just 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Hey, this was something that was good. This is something that we need to work on. When do we want to find time to get this done? Talk about the junior high practice. Hey, tomorrow morning when we get up here at 6:45, we need to make sure this, and this are done. How are we going to arrange that practice? Because that's something, I schedule the junior high practices too. As far as running those, I run those practices. So, something that I would expect all of our head coaches to do. I know that, they're there, but, and you wanna allow growth for some of those other coaches to be able to take ownership of it. But as far as the structure and the setup of it, I would prefer the high school head coach of that sport organize that practice and say, hey, this is what I want, and then they do it. So that's something that we talk about like as a group, football wise, like I said, every day. I'll talk with the girls' coaches, and that's something that we'll just have to do. We'll say, hey, once we get into it, we need to find time, 25 minutes to meet as a group, and then I'll find time, 5-10 minutes here and there to meet with you individually, but have some type of weekly meeting, bi-weekly, like I said, it just, once we get into it, it just depends on schedules and the flow of everything, because the last thing I wanna do is have them meeting just to meet, when they're sitting there, you got first year teachers who are trying to set up a classroom, they're trying to do lesson plans, you know, they're trying to do all those things. It can get a little bit overwhelming, but, be mindful and respectful of their time, but try to find a time to where it works for everybody, and just do those.
Jacob, appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm excited for the kids to be part of this program.
Sir?
Yeah. All right, that concludes section 6.1, all the campus reports and program reviews. Okay. We'll move to 6.2, facility projects update. This is where David's time to shine. Okay.
Okay, so just an update on kind of what's going on right now. Just kind of listed some projects on the agenda. The elementary AC for the cafeteria, it's in progress. Poor guys showed up here, pulled all their old units off, went to go put the new units on. Curves didn't match the new units, so called the crane guy off. The roof's been tarped. So next Tuesday, they're gonna try to reinstall it again. So he said that he's got the right parts this time. The elementary cafeteria, we have a project where they're removing the popcorn ceiling off of the walls on that fur down part. They're working on it. They got everything taped off, and they started scraping on it, so it took a little while to get all that popcorn out. So, the elementary, we had to build a wall in Miss Matson's room to divide that classroom into 2 classrooms. They requested us to do that, so the wall's been built, the sheetrock's been done. Nikki all 4 of us textured it this morning, we all had texture all over us. But that part of it's done, so basically it just needs to be painted and then put back together. Elementary requested that the Head Start room, because they've moved some classes and stuff around up there. In Christie's old office, the changing table used to be in there. Well, now it has to be in the classroom, so we had to build a half wall to add some privacy, but still be able for them to be able to see stuff. So that wall's been built, and Nikki put the first coat of paint on it this afternoon. So that's moving along.
They changed diapers?
If
They
they
have
have,
accidents.
Well, I get paid a lot. Golly.
You'll see the salary schedule.
Yeah, which one was that? I didn't remember
The
that.
diaper stopping in there.
the diaper stuff.
We hope they don't have to, but they do have to, there's 3.
Okay, so the elementary, I was made aware of from the guys that do our fire inspections for all of our fire extinguishers and stuff, that the system that's in the cafeteria is out of UIL spec. Still would function, but if there was an incident and it needed to go off and it didn't go off, then we'd have a problem. So they submitted a proposal to me for it, and we issued a PO so that they could go ahead and get that taken care of this summer. So that system will have a new Ansel system. Heath kind of knows kind of what's going on with that kind of stuff. Some little jets and power and some other stuff that have to be changed out. The high school gym floor, the game floor, and the old gym game floor are supposed to be resurfaced July 1st through the 5th. They usually do that once a year. We kind of got off track one year because they were out of product, and then we wound up waiting until Christmas, and so we're about a year and a half behind right now getting it done. So that's a needed deal that we normally do as an annual deal. The high school park, the parking lot at this station, up by the road, they had that part look like kind of finished over on the tractor side.
Yeah, about halfway done.
Yeah, so
And it looks good.
it does look
And
good.
they, it seems like.
The battle's gonna be to keep the weeds out of
Slow.
it.
Well, you said that's 1,300 tons, right? Is what
Yes.
yeah, that's like 60 truckloads.
I never see a truck there.
I can haul 4 truckloads a day, so that, if that tells you how many trucks,
No, I know, but it's just every time I look out there,
yeah,
he's running.
The dust
skid
storms are
steers.
what's been the worst.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that's a process.
Yeah.
That's lots of loads.
He's worked out with the city, he's tied onto the fire hydrant out there to fill his
I saw that.
truck, so that'll help us out. He's not pulling water off of our field water, so that's good. The field, I don't know if y'all been out and walked on the track or anything. I finally removed the boards this afternoon.
Not gonna trip and fall?
No, I moved them all today. I've been in the process of putting sand out on the field to try to get rid of some of the low spots, the divots and stuff. That was 2 truckloads of sand and I'm almost out.
Wow.
So, I put the roller on it today, tried to roll it out. We're gonna,
I wondered what that sand was for.
yeah, it's
You walk.
It's mason sand, it's not just field sand, it's mason
You
sand.
have a big old patch of stickers on the north end, where's the?
Yeah, I missed that when I was spraying. It's nice little triangle.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I saw that today. But we rolled it today with, our roller that we have, and then we have a water tote that we put on top of it, that we fill up with water so that it actually increases the down pressure on it. Our little tractor's a little heavier than our roller, so it'll roll, but then it leaves the tractor tires, so you gotta add a little weight to it. So I rolled the game field today, and then drained it all off and pulled everything off. So I wanna see what it looks like after they mow it. I still have a little bit of sand, but once they mow it, I can kinda see more of the uneven spots in it, so it's due for a mow job. The old gym lighting that's going underneath the cover pavilion little area out in front, the lights were picked up today in Cedarville, so we should be getting those put up here shortly. If you've driven by the high school, you've seen the truck today, and he'll be there through Wednesday, that says train service group on it. There is 3 big units that are on the roof up there that are fresh air intakes for that high school. Since I've been here, they haven't functioned correctly. So I've had local guys try to work on it, and because it's train technology, it's all computer control. No, they can fix compressors, they can add freon, they can change fans out, but when you actually get into the automation of those machines, it's above most of our guys' head. So I had to pay money for them to come give me an estimate to see what it's gonna cost to bring those back up where they're working. So that's what he's here doing, is giving us an estimate, which will probably have to be repaired sometime next year, because we probably won't have to have them this summer. High school parking lot, I mentioned to the contractor that was doing the parking lot at the stadium, but we haven't been able to meet up yet. His time frame and my time frame, he's doing dirt work in the morning somewhere else so that the boys can park in the parking lot without having to park along the street and stuff, so we just haven't been able to meet up, but we still have it on our list to look at. The elementary, in the pre-K Head Start wing, used to have coat hooks, well, they still do right now. There's a little shelf in there, and all their backpacks hang on a coat hook. Well, it becomes kind of a mess in there once stuff falls out or whatever. So Lori has proposed that, she wanted cubbies put in there instead of those coat hooks. And so I went and bought all the wood from Home Depot, and Mr. Owens is gonna build them for us, and then we're gonna paint and install them. So,
Elementary's being needy this month. Golly.
a lot of it's already kind of, a lot of it's about 3/4 of the way finished on most of this project.
Just open cubbies, no doors,
Just open cubbies. And the way the doors are there, the wall that's away from the classroom, I guess it would go up against the bathroom wall, because that bathroom's kind of in the center of that. It will have more cubbies than the one that has the door side, because we have to allow for that door to close back, so that one would be a little bit short. The middle school, every year Raquel takes real pride in doing her floors, and waxing them. But in the process of waxing them, we have way too much wax built up on the floor now.
Only
So-
Raquel would do that.
Yeah, the machine that we have will take 2 layers off, and Raquel puts 3 layers back on. So, year after year after year. So what we were gonna try to do, instead of having to try to chemical strip them, because it's a mess trying to chemical strip them, I talked to one of the vendors in Stephenville. We're gonna try to buff those floors, and the buffer will take 1 layer off, but as it's taking that layer off, it will heat that bottom, that next layer up, and it shines. We tried a little section over there, so that's the plan, is, we're not gonna wax the floors, we're gonna try to buff them out, but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna do the cupcake in first. Here's the biggie one. The bathrooms at the softball, baseball field. The contractor that we had, I issued PO for, called me and I didn't know we get in touch with him. Finally, I got in touch with him. He backed out. Said it was time restraints, plus he lost some employees, so he is not gonna be able to get it done by August 1st. So, the other vendor that put in a proposal on that was Rowdy Wilkerson. I've been talking to Rowdy. Rowdy said he would do the job, but I need to make sure that that's okay with y'all, and y'all want me to move forward with it. And the money's already been allocated. I just wanna make sure that,
Remind me why we don't use what's there,
The restroom.
the city owned, they run, what was it, they run wrong, right?
the city bathrooms,
Yeah,
they're actually our bathrooms.
right, that they,
They're uphill.
uphill, I knew it was something.
And they're not ADA accessible, so if you have somebody that's handicapped, they have to ride their scooter across that rough bumpy parking lot all the way up there, and then have to go around the building to get on the ramp to get up to go into the bathrooms. But coming from the baseball field, it's a lot bigger jog than it is from the softball field. So, I've been talking to Rowdy. Rowdy seems to think he can get most of it done by the end of the, when
Is that not
budget
part of
goes
his
over.
contract?
Well, if he's an advisor, and part of his contract he does, but not a whole big job like this. We don't pay him that much. But he does, you know, a lot of the small things he does, he comes and does that.
I don't know. And Rowdy's good.
He is.
I like Rowdy fine, but I don't know that. It's kind of a conflict of interest.
It's kind of always steered away from it a little bit, I think, originally, because
Yeah,
he's on staff.
he didn't really want to do it, it's just that
Now we
nobody
have
else
no-
does.
If he doesn't jump in and do it, it's not gonna get done.
Now we have
There wasn't anybody else that close, was there?
So that's our option, so, you know, I'd already kind of committed money. He said, I've got a little time, I think I can get it done. Of course, he's gonna sub it out, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So he's gonna sub out his concrete, he's gonna sub out the plumbing, he's gonna sub out to get the metal structure up. He said that if he could get somebody to come stand the metal building up, he would come put sheets on it, because they've done that in the past. So I think he's just willing to try to get it moving forward so that we don't stall out on that project. But that's kind of where we're at on that. I think that's mostly all of my big projects that are not finished, wrapped up yet, but they're in real good situations right now. So the next thing that y'all wanted me to talk to you about was the proposal process. When we have a big project, we ask for proposals, not bids. Bids will slip out of my mouth sometimes, but bids are different than proposals. Proposals are a living document where we can go back and revise them if we need to. Just like the whole HVAC system thing that y'all asked me to check back on. That was a proposal. So-
Okay, the question that I had about that is, after last time, it kind of hit me that you just call people
Mhm.
to do that. And I know with federal money, you have to put out a bid, but local money, you don't have to. I know in years past, not only you,
then I have heard people in town say, well, who got that bid? Well, no, we didn't get a chance at that. And that's gone on for years, and it's just not transparent, that's the issue.
We use, it for a big job, we post it on our website.
Okay.
We don't always advertise it with John because it costs a lot of money to advertise.
Yeah, but if we need to, I think
Yeah.
transparency.
If we need to,
We
like,
need to.
like when we did the elementary wing, we ran ads, we did a formal proposal ad, we ran ads, we posted it on several posting things, and we did advertise in the paper. For something like this, we called everybody locally we can think of and put the word out.
There's certain people that we have dealt with in the past, and I've been doing this for a while.
And that's good,
And
but I
so-
think there are people who are getting this, and that's an issue for people
I've been
in the
getting
community
this for
that pay
decades.
taxes.
What'd you say, John?
He's been this for a decade.
We're not,
And I haven't complained about it, so.
would it slow you down a lot, David, to put one through the free press, or
Yeah,
non-wise?
if it's a big job, I don't have a problem putting it through.
Yeah.
So
No,
what's
but-
it, what's the?
But what are
price
y'all
point?
talking about, the big job, you know,
Yeah,
that's
what
the
I'm curious.
decision
What's the price
deal,
point?
you know, because,
50?
Yeah, normally I thought anything over 49.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50,000-ish.
Yeah.
So, going back to what I had a little deal written out here, and then we can discuss it. So, I have vendors that we use, and we've used in the past, already have a rapport with the school, so we call those vendors. A lot of times they don't show up. There's lots of times when I go out for proposals, I only get 2 proposals, and I'm trying to get 3 or 4. I'll get 3 if possible. Mr. Thompson says, if we get 2, that third one, I have to write a statement basically saying, I called this guy, and this guy, and this guy on this date at this time. I mean, you just basically gotta cover to make sure you get it all done. Most vendors wanna have a site visit. I provide them drawings, Rowdy helps me with the drawings a lot of times. We give them a scope of the job, stuff like that. Some of the projects that we have, we go through, vendors that are on Blackboard. And you'll probably are familiar with Blackboard if you've been on the school board long. It's a buy and cooperative, basically. If I go out to get something from a Blackboard, that vendor's already been checked, basically. I don't really like to use Blackboard, because I wanna get 3 quotes and try to do my due diligence on my end to make sure everything was kosher. But we'll sit down and we'll get at least 3 proposals and we compare them. Most of the vendors that we do call on won't be local Deleon people, because there's not a whole lot of vendor Deleon local people. But we call Comanche, we call Early, we call Eastland, Dublin. I had Dublin quote something the other day for me. The other problem is with that, when you call these people and you keep calling these people, and you keep calling these people, and they're the one that is the highest one, and they never get picked, they eventually quit wanting to return their phone calls. So there becomes a problem. If we go out, most of our projects that we do, the school acts like the general contractor. We try to do as much in-house as we can. That company that was wanting to do the elementary enclosure for the atrium, that company was a third-party company. We paid for their architects, all that kind of stuff, so they inflate the price. So if we can do it in-house, it saves the district money. So that's kind of the way that I've always done it since we've been here. AC lines, gas lines, concrete stuff, those are pretty much staple things. Sheets always comes and does our AC. Gas line stuff, they has to be certified every year. They have to come do a pressure test on all of them. That's just something we do with them. You'll set up the vendors where they had a minimum I could spend with them is 25,000. But even when I'm spending that money, I'm still getting 3 quotes most of the time, trying to justify, just like the parking lot project, I got prices from 41,000 to 88,000. So, I mean, it's really, sometimes it's way out of line, and you just don't know, maybe the guy got a better deal on the trucking than, you know what I mean? So, any other questions on how I do that?
And to answer your question about timing, I don't remember if you said something about that. But if you do the bid process, it's probably gonna set you back another 3 weeks longer than if you just went and called somebody.
And a lot of times it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get proposals out of normal bidders, because they're busy too, they can't drop them.
Sure.
I mean, they have to schedule us in, and 99% of the time they wanna come talk, and they wanna come look, and they wanna make sure what they're bidding on is what.
Yeah.
And they should.
Yes, and I'd rather them come in, because a lot of times in that discussion period with them, they may suggest a better way to do it. So,
I just think the bottom line is transparency.
I do.
And the taxpayers that live in this district should get a chance, even if they.
I think that probably in the future, we could have a place on our website that's visible, not one that's hard to find. Maybe we can work on that and just have it, you know,
stuff that. we
project
contract out.
opportunities that we're going to, and have it there all the time. So we'll talk to Mike about that. I think that would be a really good thing to do.
That's where you go for federal bids.
Yeah.
Just contracted services or
Go
something
to
like
the
that.
site to look for what's
Yeah.
available.
Oh, I agree with you.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, I don't know what you want me to do about bathrooms. Kind of jumped over that. So it's not an action item, but the bathrooms.
I didn't put it on, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's already been approved.
Yeah.
I was just getting a feeling from y'all.
If we're gonna do it, we have to do it.
I need to turn him loose in the morning, because the time constraint is what's.
Bridget Avenue.
I mean, I don't know that
It's not a motion, it's not
we
a.
can't approve anything, so, nor can we deny it.
Yeah, you already approved it.
Yeah, we
We've already
approved
approved
it.
it.
I just was letting y'all know what was going on.
Thank you.
Transparency.
It's kind of one or nothing, basically.
Huh?
It's either him or not getting it done until.
Yeah, next year.
Do you not want to line the porta potty? Is that what you're saying?
We've had those before.
I did look into porta potty trailers, you know, because
We
some of
did,
these
we saw.
CMSs and stuff, but I still have to do sewer.
Yeah.
And by the time you go out, we're gonna store the trailer, we'll get tore up, and then it's gonna be more feasible just to put it.
Yeah, you know.
Well,
Yes, and all 4 bathroom stalls will be ADA compliant too, so we won't have to worry about it.
David, thank you.
Thank
I
y'all.
appreciate the work and the report.
you can go.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
That moves us to 6.4, the safety audit update.
There,
Mr. Miller?
well, Mr. Miller's not here this evening. He's one of the principals that got
Got the
the
break.
summer off. But I wanted to remind you, that the district meeting is July the 24th at 4 o'clock. And Lisa, is that the board president and vice president?
I think so.
Need to,
When is it again?
it's at July the 24th at 4 o'clock. It'll be in the high school library. And it's just, it's a requirement for the safety, program that we review the safety program. So. But everything's going well. We, you know, as you know, we passed all of our safety inspections with flying colors last year, and that's really a great thanks to Chuck. One of the things that he has done this summer is that he's put the numbers on both sides of the windows, so that if you're inside, you know what room you're in, and you're outside, you know. So he's done that, but, we're just staying on top of it. And we did get our new safety grant, and that's what we're doing our, cameras with. And they are in the process of installing those, and they are going to be wonderful.
Cool. Thank you for that. Moves us to 6.5, board training opportunities. As always, we're here.
Nothing new, nothing new.
Okay.
Heath, you missed a wonderful training the other day.
Sorry.
Just
I
so
wasn't
you
doing
know.
reschedule.
Where are your priorities?
Oh, trust me,
I think he has.
y'all, and work, and there's 3 or 4 people that said the same thing, no, I need to schedule.
All right, go to action items.
We, on donations, I would like for you all to accept the donations from Rachel Walford for $3,200 for academic awards. Thank you very much. Deleon Steadingham gave $200 for academic awards. So,
Can you change that though, because I don't want it to appear that I donated that money because I did not. That's, so if you would just change it to say the Tyson Walford Memorial Scholarship, because it was.
I almost did that, but then
Compilation.
that's not how it was handed to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Tyson Walford Memorial Scholarship,
thank you.
That's awesome.
but thank you very much.
This will receive a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept 7.1 with changes to the name.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? All right, 7.2, the consideration approval of salary schedule for 24-25.
They didn't change, but the other one said 23-24 on it, and I thought it appropriate to bring it to you, that they're, this is the 24-25.
Same as last year. The numbers at the bottom, just trying to figure out what those represent.
Wait a minute.
Below the spreadsheet,
Oh, this was Mr. Thompson
Oh,
figuring. It
show
was
his work.
It was just him figuring, and I put his copy in. They don't mean anything to us.
Okay.
He was trying to figure out, the one I have in my budget book does not have those, that on it, so.
Okay. With that information, receive a motion for 7.2.
I so move.
I'll second.
All in favor? Everybody
I'm gonna stay.
Same.
Thank you.
All right. 7.3, consideration and approval of update 123.
I hope, I know that you'll recall that usually the first time you see it, it says first reading of. Tasty has changed their rules and you only have to have one reading. And this one is really all legal practically. There's underlined places in it that we go over in staff meetings, and who's responsible for it and whatever, but there's nothing
That's what I get closest,
better.
closest that was underlined part. I did have a question on the evaluation of teachers, the alternate domain 1 rubric.
Mhm.
Is it changed? It says principals at the side. Is that just for principals? or-
Principals do T-test, they do that.
Okay, so it's
They're the
rubrics are changed
evaluators,
for
yeah,
principals?
yeah, yeah, they're the ones that do the evaluation. The principal or the designated person on that campus. And we used that updated version this year, so.
Okay. Okay, will we receive a motion for 7.3?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor? All right. 7.4, consideration and approval of innovative course for DHS.
Mr. Chapman asked me to put this on here, this will complete the pathway, right? Lisa, is that the word I'm supposed to use?
Program of study.
Program of study. This course will. Brooke is not going to coach this year, and this will allow her to have this and be one more course for us.
It's not dual credit though, right?
No, this is a pathway,
Okay,
yeah.
It's for a program of study to
Okay.
complete.
I keep saying.
They may not use it, they might use it depending on if there's any kids.
it's a good course, good content.
It would be.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll make a motion again.
Yep. He's gonna make the motion, we have a second,
it.
Cody with a second. All in favor?
Now maybe we can get some kids in it,
Yeah.
see what happens.
Alright, personnel, we close session,
Yeah, I call for a closed session.
close. At, 8:11, go into closed session. Thank y'all.
Do y'all want me to wait, or y'all give me the ending time and all the rest of the times and, but.
No, Lisa, when you sit there,
If I need to wait, I go to my
Is
office.
Lisa here to like talk about the, principals and stuff, so she's got.
Yeah, Lisa,
Huh?
the other Lisa.